Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan, and I have a very unique and distinct why I'm no longer vegan video to respond to here. And why I say all that is because this content creator who I've never heard of before, Ryan Cropper, said he quit being vegan because the ayahuasca god or whatever told him to do so. I know it sounds kind of funny, but I want to make sure everyone knows my reasons for making these videos. I'm not here to make fun of Ryan or shame or anything like that. As always, I have two goals and only two goals. One is to see if there is some absolute compelling reason why this person had to give up a diet of all plants, so they're going to get really sick or die or something like that. And secondly, I'm listening to what they're saying and picking up cues, trying my best at least, to see if they're even really vegan in the first place. So let's jump right in.
Essentially 6 years ago, I went to Rhythmia. You can watch the whole story there. I did like a series on them. And during one of the nights that I partook in an ayahuasca ceremony, the ayahuasca told me to eat meat. And I, being vegan for around 8 years at that time, swiftly declined.
Awesome. Good for you, Ryan. I'm glad you didn't listen to the ayahuasca god speaking to you there.
I had, up until that point, intentionally, mentally conditioned myself through years of watching videos online of animal abuse, documentaries, and doctors online. Doctors.
Why do you put air quotes around these, I assume, vegan doctors? You just don't like them anymore?
Telling me that eating meat was bad.
I mean, I'm not exactly sure who or what you're referring to there, but there is a large body of evidence suggesting that there are some health risks associated with eating meat. And some of these recommendations come from very non-vegan doctors, like, say, the World Health Organization, whose studies find that both processed and red meat increase your risk of certain types of cancers.
I knew that there was some doubt within a lot of what I was watching, that I didn't have to believe in everything, but I chose to believe in it anyway because I was sold on the idea that there was a perfect diet out there that was going to make me feel like Superman.
All right, so now I have no idea what Ryan's talking about here. I know of no vegan doctor or organization of health professionals who say that science has shown that a diet of all plants, a vegan diet, is a perfect diet or the optimal human diet or anything like that. No, what we do know for an absolute fact, though, is that a well-planned, an appropriately planned vegan diet is nutritionally adequate for all people in all stages of life. And who knows, maybe that'll make you feel like Superman, but that's no promise from any vegan doctor I've ever heard of.
I conditioned myself out of the diet that I was in because I was feeling crappy and miserable. I was eating processed foods as well as meat, and I was feeling tired and I didn't want to age really fast and fall apart. So I thought, let's go super clean, let's go vegan,
Eating a vegan diet has nothing to do with being super clean. I'm hearing a lot of talk here about diet and perfect health and stuff like that. I'm not getting the cues from Ryan here that he was vegan. Let's just make it clear here what vegan is. It's not a diet. We eat a diet of all plants, but veganism is not a diet. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. It says nothing in here about perfect health or cleansing or anything like that. For example, if you really wanted to, as a vegan, you could have a diet of just like beer and Oreos. Yeah, that's technically vegan. There's no animal products involved. Would I recommend that? Hell no, but it's vegan.
Look, I had to be vegan because I had to learn of ways to detoxify my body. I still do those.
No, veganism nor vegan diets have anything to do with detoxifying. Shows that you have no understanding what veganism is.
And then I went a whole year without taking any ayahuasca. And then Rhythmia emails me and asks me to come out again. And so I do. I arrive, I take the ayahuasca, and on day 3 of vlogging my experience, during that trip, ayahuasca asked me again to partake in eating anything from an animal.
I mean, this is really weird. I mean, he goes back to his ayahuasca retreat place a year later, and he has the same sort of vision, the ayahuasca god telling him to eat animal products, any kind. I mean, it sounds like your ayahuasca god is some kind of anti-vegan. And unfortunately, for the sake of animals, Ryan gives in this time and actually listens to the ayahuasca god's instructions.
I took myself a fried egg, chucked it on the plate, stared at it for like 20 minutes. I smelled it like an animal smells something. I get it, I eat it, I automatically feel like throwing up.
I mean, I really just don't know what to say here. There's just so much wrong going on, but I'll try my best here. First of all, what evidence do you actually have, Ryan or anyone, that when you have your ayahuasca visions, that you're actually receiving any kind of direct communication from some kind of intelligence external to that of your own? And let's just say, for argument's sake, that when you're on ayahuasca, you are indeed communicating with these divine, spiritual, or even extraterrestrial beings from another dimension or whatever. Just say that were true. How would you, as the person experiencing this on ayahuasca, be able to distinguish that the being or thing that you're communicating with is actually evil or good? You're assuming that it cares about you. It's giving you some helpful information. How would you know? It could be some kind of devilish, demonic creature and is giving you horrible information. How do you know? Instead of just automatically assuming the objective existence of these supernatural beings communicating with you, even companies who run these ayahuasca retreats targeting Westerners like Ryan here tell you flat out in their literature that the visions that you have under ayahuasca are just the surfacing of deep-rooted fears from your own psyche, not from those of an alien or God or something like that. And just applying Occam's razor, the principle that states that the theory that involves creating the fewest amount of entities tends to be the correct one. The simpler theory or explanation tends to be the correct one. Let's weigh it out here. Supernatural, extra-dimensional beings from another plane of existence communicating with you and giving you solid, good information for your own benefit, or just something going on in your own psyche, deep-rooted fears, insecurities are being processed under the ayahuasca experience. And before some like Gen Z person says, well, you just don't know, you've never experienced this stuff. No, let me just show you my background here. In the 90s, I've done some exploring of my own. I have some books you probably have never even heard of. This is the first edition printing of Pharmacotheon by Jonathan Ott. I have I believe a first edition printing of Food of the Gods from Terence McKenna, and I have modern books too, like DMT, The Spirit Molecule. My point is, I have done some seriously heavy psilocybin mushroom experiences, like 4 grams, and then I've also combined them in the past with MAO inhibiting plants with the psilocybin mushrooms, creating a similar kind of blend that you find in ayahuasca. I know what I'm talking about here, that I've experienced these sorts of realms before many times in the 90s. I haven't done it recently, and I can tell you that I have no reason to believe that any of the experiences I had, any things of the visions I've seen, were somehow objectively true, external to my own mind and brain just going haywire from having its biochemistry messed up for a little bit. Anyway, enough about me and my psychedelic past. Let's move on back to Ryan's story, to where he actually starts eating meat again regularly.
And I moved to Bali. In Bali, most of the people that I met there were eating fish, including the people near the beach resorts. I was kind of reluctant, but I tried it anyway. And as I started eating fish, my brain woke up. The brain fog cleared.
Oh, brain fog. Okay, so this is an old excuse or reason we've heard from many people before. And it's just so weird. Like, I know like literally hundreds of vegans, and none of us have brain fog. It's only the people that quit being vegan that say they had brain fog. But anyway, let's learn a little bit about brain fog and see if it's something that should happen to vegans. Like, let's look at this website from Cleveland Clinic, a very non-vegan oriented website. And here are some of the causes of brain fog. And notice how veganism, or a diet of all plants, is not one of them. But look at the bottom here. Poor nutrition. Meaning people on any diet, vegan or otherwise, who are for some reason not getting the right amount of nutrition. Say they're under eating, not getting enough calories, or not getting enough different food groups in, and therefore experiencing malnutrition. And this is why I think so many of these why no longer vegan people say they had brain fog. I believe them. They were eating a poor diet, but that had nothing to do with veganism. It had to do with their approach to eating plants. And I'm afraid that Ryan here probably falls into this this pattern, because I'm hearing talk about cleansing and purity and perfect diet and all this stuff. He's probably doing something non-standard, meaning not following the recommendations of these health organizations as to what constitutes a healthy vegan diet, and probably doing something that's not quite right, and thus having brain fog, but blaming it on a vegan diet in general.
People around me that were also vegan did the same thing. They had the same experience. We started to openly talk about how fish is actually really important for the brain. Now, I knew this growing up. I knew this growing up. My mum would constantly stress about having my cod liver oil tablets, and I was a fan of salmon.
I'm not a doctor, a dietitian, or nutritionist or anything like that, so don't take anything I'm saying here as like nutritional advice, but it sure sounds to me like he probably would have benefited from having taken some omega-3 fatty acid supplements. Like you said, oh, salmon, yeah, they eat the algae and stuff like that. Well, you know, you don't have to eat the salmon to get the algae. You can take a vegan omega-3 supplement. You can even take a vegan algae supplement. Instead of eating the salmon to get the algae that the salmon ate, instead of killing the middleman, just eat the algae yourself. So once again, if eating fish made you feel physically and mentally wonderful, it's more evidence that you were malnourished and getting some nutrients that you were previously not getting properly as a vegan could have been handled by just taking some simple supplements. So if you really gave a crap about not harming animals, if you're against animal cruelty and exploitation, to me it's a no-brainer, huh? Kill salmon to get the algae that they're eating, or just take the algae directly.
I start to open my mind up again to the idea of eating meat. At this point, I'm pretty much a pescatarian if I'm not experimenting with other types of meat.
Oh, so because of your positive experience getting omega-3 fatty acids from fish, now you're open to eating all manner of animal.
And I just feel like someone who's experimenting.
Yes, thank you for admitting it here, Ryan. Finally, yes, that's exactly what you're doing. You're experimenting. You're not vegan. You don't have a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. You're jumping from one diet to another, trying different foods with no regard for if animals are being exploited and harmed and killed to give you that food. You're just trying to see what happens to your mind and body when you try certain foods. That's definitely not vegan. You're on some other weird trip.
I go carnivore for a month and 2 days.
Yep, totally experimenting and totally not giving a shit about animals.
Maybe if you're just aware enough to see if perhaps you're being introduced to a new concept outside of your normal way of thinking, because you might need to change something within your life.
No thanks, I'm quite fine with my belief that animal cruelty and exploitation are wrong. Furthermore, I know for a fact that my health has not taken a hit. I have decades worth of blood labs that I've shared here on YouTube, and I'm healthier now by any objective measure. I'm healthier now in my 50s than I was in my 30s.
Plants heal the body, definitely. So you should keep them into your diet. Meats, fats in meat, run the body.
Like citation needed. Like, what in the world are you talking about? Meats run the body? Like, are you aware there are people that won gold medals at the Olympics and they ate nothing but plants? I think their bodies were running just fine on a diet of all plants. It's just a bunch of nonsense. I'm going to end this video here. It's getting quite long. Anyway, guys, leave your questions and comments down below. Let me know, what do you think? Honestly, do you think on a deep ayahuasca trip or mushroom trip you're talking to something that's giving you information to make your life better? Let me know what you think down below. If you really do believe in that, come to my Friday live streams. Every Friday, come this one, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and let me know why I should believe the things that talk to me. What if the things tell me to like go out and like shoot people or something like that? Should I listen to it? Anyway, you tell me what you would do. So yeah, this Friday 6, come, let me know, and remember, until then, doesn't suck being vegan.